Yeah, I blame the prophet because it's clear. You come to the internet because you want to win at something. Right? So you come to a big work where person like shit don't possible is way better. Because here's the thing, I haven't been wrong about anything, but I also understand what's going on. I'm perfectly honest about where I am. So you have to ask yourself, pretty good question. Why are so many black conservative men making so much money on talking about why? Why conservative black men who hold on a second. Am I back now? Hold on a second. Maybe I need to turn off this Wi-Fi. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. There we go. We good? We're back. SKC is not coming back anywhere. I'm not unblocking SKC. And if you ask me to unblock SKC, I will boot you from my fucking channel. Hold on a second. It's never gonna happen. So you have to understand that the whole card has to be pulled on all these fake black conservatives and people who haven't taken a side, but they're worried about the outcome of this liberal woman. Yeah, so a lot of these people have made a decent living, a very decent living, off of this liberal black woman that they claim that they don't want for some reason. Now, we're not going to be cool until he starts providing proof of the voter fraud situation that everybody else is getting $1.6 billion lawsuits over. The bullshit he pulled on TPOT with him and Mr. Fantastic for the George Floyd trial. So fuck SKC. Dude, you got to provide a track record of being right. I'm sick of being right. I'm sick of being right and being surrounded by people who don't take sides. So that's what it is. So you guys have to understand that most of these dudes are not real conservatives because they don't qualify for the actual conservative women that they claim that they're on the side of. They don't. They do not. That's what I'm saying, man. And like all these dudes came to the manosphere to be conservative, to like make the woman want to kind of snatch them back when these women didn't even want to deal with them in the first place. At this point in time, you need to have a side pick or you won't be taken seriously by anybody in real life. This is why most black men are not taken seriously in real life, because everybody don't have a side pick, but they want to benefit. So when you don't have a side pick and you want to benefit just like a woman, that's some liberal stuff. Not actually
contributing to society and actually want to take stuff out, that's liberal stuff. That's what liberal stuff is. So these people are the same people who voted for Hillary Clinton, voted for Obama 2 times, definitely didn't vote for George W. Bush, neither one of those times. Or they just fully don't know anything about politics beyond Donald Trump. And like, this is what happened to the manosphere. Like, all these dudes came here, like, they're only conservative because of a woman. All these dudes live in blue states. They definitely live in blue areas in blue states. But they never, ever, ever live in red areas of red states. Somehow they want all the liberal benefits of capital investment. That's because they don't exist, JR. So that's the deal. They want to benefit off of a broken system without actually contributing. Now, you would actually think that these people would have moved on. But see, they can't legitimately produce without this liberal black woman, because this is the end goal for them. This is why they talk about it so much. This is why they're trying to gain her understanding. But see, a lot of these people came to the manosphere dumb as shit, didn't want to pick up a book, didn't even want to keep up with news about their side of the party. Because the same people who jumped on the Trump train without understanding that all those people who lost their businesses, I'm talking about the middle class and especially upper middle class whites, were going to wipe out whatever black gains that they were going to have. Now, you would know that if you traveled across the country, like I did during the entire time. This is why they're cultural conservatives. They're not policy-based conservatives. They can clearly move on to other options, but see, they don't want to because they want this liberal woman's respect. Every time something that happens with BLM, all these fake conservatives cover it. In fact, they can't even make a point of view without playing the cultural narrative, because the cultural narrative, there's no end to that. You can't tell me that there was an end goal to what Rush Limbaugh did over 30 years. Maybe even a little bit longer than 30 years, maybe 35 years. Bill O'Reilly, what did he do in 30-something years? Sean Hannity, what did he provide for 30-something years of being this so-called entertainment conservative? They don't provide anything. They don't even provide anything to people in rural areas. The only thing they do is they keep these people emotionally gaslit to keep them connected to issues that has nothing to do with the party. This is why they don't know anything about policy, because policy isn't going to be something that they're ever going to talk about, because that involves reading and being responsible and having a track record and knowing history. But if you don't know any of those things, because you don't have respect for black people in general, and especially black men in specific, this is what you're actually reduced to doing. All fake conservatives follow the same cultural narrative. And at the center point of every fake conservative is this liberal woman that they claim that they don't want, but all their conservatism is based on her, the things that she's getting. And then they lobby for actual efforts that they think is only going to hurt the liberal black woman, but somehow it's not going to hurt every other woman in society. It doesn't make sense. How many times have this guy said that he wanted to debate people and that he would destroy people in the debate? The Prophet of Thought series is over there in the chat at Little Big Nate. Seeing how full of shit this guy is. And this is why they only want Black Curls, and this is why they only want to know what I'm doing, so that way they can debate against what I'm doing, but they never have to say about what they're doing because they're doing nothing. So once you enter a conversation where you have to say what you're doing and they're doing nothing, you're actually debating against yourself. No, he's not going to debate anything. He doesn't know anything. What he's trying to do right now, he's trying to draw draw the attention away from the George Floyd trial. This is why he wanted to go after the so-called left people in the actual space. Because, what's going on, Mike V? Because none of these guys have a reason to exist within the black space of YouTube. Of course he declined to debate, but he keeps saying that he can destroy people in debates. I told him, look, man, you keep my name in your mouth, I'm just going to flag your channel off YouTube. That's how I'm going to play with you. It's either you come to the table, or if you play any of my likeness, I'm going to get your ass up out of here. So that's how I play. That's how big boys play. You're not going to sit there and slander me, boss, unless you're going to fucking come your ass to the table and have a conversation. Not going to have a conversation. This Little Big Nate experiment is going to be over pretty fucking quick. Of course they use their platforms to get rich, man. They're not legitimate producers in society, JR. But at some point, you got to come to the table and actually discuss your issues if you haven't. You don't see Candace Owens out there today. Didn't she have a 40-something million viewed video about how she didn't give a shit about George Floyd? But she's still going to be at PragerU tomorrow under the protection of conservatives. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, dude, listen. They don't even want to be around these type of black conservatives, man. You think you could put Citizen Lou on a panel with any of these dudes? No, man. Like, dude, you'll say one thing and they kick your ass out the room. What she say? Yeah, Ben Carson, enormous clown. Was willing to catch COVID-19 for not wearing a mask just to be down with the crew. Like, this is what you got, man. A whole bunch of grifters, man. But see, they want to be conservative entertainers like, you know, the Mark Levin and the Aaron Coulter and Michael Savages and all that kind of stuff. Because they never have a side. They never have a track record. They never have a track record to which you can track. But somehow, guys with tangibles are supposed to be teaming up with entertainers. How can guys who are entertainers team up with people who are actually organizing on the actual political side that they're on? Because the problem is that they actually want the left to do all the work while they pretend to be in the middle or on the right at the worst. Yeah, that's exactly what they are. Yeah, he's just a childish clown. But see, yeah, he was a conservative too, JR. Got COVID-19 and died. You had people who were black male first who came on YouTube and lied about the actual conditions. They never want to talk about policy. They never want to talk about policy because the policy discussion would actually require you not to actually focus on this liberal woman and focus on your own power. But if the liberal woman is your actual outcome that you actually want to be with, then you're never going to be able to get power. And that was the situation in the first place. They don't want anything to change until she apologizes to them personally, which I don't think is going to happen. And I see no need for them to do that. But they also don't qualify for conservative women either because they're not productive and they're grifters, man. Complete grifters. How many times people have got to come around and not prove the fact that they're actually on the right? Oh, you mean the guy who was okay with affirmative action until he got to where he got and then he wanted to race? But they got dudes like that, man. They want to be the exclusive guy, and you never see a room full of these grifters at the same time. Because there can only be just one. I mean, he was an economic conservative because he was a low-wage Republican. Yeah, he was an economic conservative. He didn't want to pay people anything. This is why he was the head of the Restaurant Association, to make sure that none of those people can actually get fair wages in the actual field that he was actually in. Yeah, he was an economic conservative. He was a low-wage Republican. That's what he was. But see, they only wanted to be conservative so that way they didn't have to pick a side. So that way they didn't have to keep up with the issues. Because we know that most people in rural America, they also don't keep up with the issue either. It's very easy to play culture war. Yeah, they definitely benefit from the government contracting side. That's for damn sure. But you have to realize the fraud that this is and the people that put these people on. Because online is the only place where fake people can win. It's the only place where you cannot prove your point. You cannot debate your point. And somehow most of the people are going to be on your side because you don't actually debate anything. And he's only doing this tonight because he can't handle the George Floyd verdict. He actually wanted Derek Chauvin to get off. He was one of these helmet dudes who said that. So what he has to do tonight is draw the focus off of the George Floyd trial, which is forever, and place the actual blame on the actual left guys in the space. What is wrong with having police officers be professional at work? What's so controversial about that? There's nothing controversial about that. I mean, in this case, there was overwhelming evidence. But in every other case, there really isn't overwhelming evidence or videotape, nor expert opinions, or even the own police officers that testify against their guy. And that's what this live stream tonight is about, deflecting from that. I guess he got his McCarthy list of all the people that he don't like in the space that he perceived to be on the left when he's not even on the right. See, Black Curls, there you go again. They didn't cover the actual January 6th thing. None of these fake black conservatives in this space did that. The only person who did was the village arsonist. That's it. Yeah. This is where we're at. And you see, this is why we can't talk about real issues, because everybody don't want the issue resolved. And guess what? It's not. It's not the people on the left who don't want it resolved. It's the people in the middle, the people who don't have a side, and the people on the perceived right who don't want things to change. What? She doubled down in that video? Come on, man. What? Seeking my creator? Are you serious? But you know, she has an actual group of people that she's trying to please with her actual point of view. So it makes sense. I didn't think she would take it to that effect because she still has to be on TV and all that kind of stuff. But this is what we are, folks. And it's never going to change. How was it mob rule when there was an actual jury that both sides picked? Both sides picked that jury. And because the dude used all the strikes on getting most of the black people off the panel, she blamed the media for what? You know what? Let's play that. But that's where we at, man. Yeah, that was Mike B who posted the video link. No. I know where her actual issue is. I know where her actual system is. Now, at this point, it's the whites in the media who have to take her down. It isn't on us to take her down. They know why they're inviting her ass up there. They know what her track record is. That isn't something that black people can do to take her ass down. She's just a new age version of Herman Cain and all these other people that came before her. But see, on the right, there ain't no standards. She can go on Tucker Carlson anytime she wants to and spew nonsense. None of these dudes actually cover that stuff. Oh, no, they never covered it at all. Because, see, the type of woman that Candace Owens is, it's the same type of men that you have within the space who call themselves black conservative in the 95th percentile. They're conservative men, but they spend all their time on liberal women or fighting the culture war or talking about masks or talking about how the flu ain't real or trying to just talking about BLM as if that's the only lobbying organization in America who buys $1 million mansions, even though they're part of $1 billion organization. That's where we're at. Nope. They have no smoke for her at all. They have more smoke for BLM than her. But they don't qualify for a Candace Owens. And she's going to keep doing it because black man is not a protected group. You can slander black men in the media. It's not a big deal. It's not a big issue. That's why her ass was not invited to CPAC. That's what I'm saying, JR. If you keep showing a counterpart in society that there is no consequences for her actions, then she has no really ability to need to change. And I understand that. That's why I just found new inventory. I don't argue with people that's not part of my future. Because, see, they're attracted to losers thinking that they're winning online. They're attracted to that stuff, man. No substance, all image. All image. But they love these blue states that they live in. But this is where we are. They need these liberal black women, man. They love them to death. They love the fact that they don't want them. Most of these dudes have been taking a child support court, all this stuff. Liberal black women stay on the brain. But this is where we are. Yes, like, dude, they spend their time talking about Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion and every other supposedly liberal black woman out here. Like, most of these people don't go out there talking about actual conservative women. You don't see me really doing that much content on them. I don't care. Because in the system of infinite choice, what's going on, Grinch? We smoking on chocolate. Yeah. and Grinch, like, you got most of these fake black conservatives out here, man. They pretty quiet tonight, man. You know, you got Lil Big Nate, who's after all the people on the left. Knowing he's the biggest liberal in the damn space. The biggest liberal. That dude going up the river for like 40 strong, man. Everybody was paying attention how unbothered that dude was during the whole trial, man. No remorse, no sadness. He really didn't even react all that much when they read the verdict. Yeah, man, that dude's going down for a very, very, very long time, man. Now you see, like, most people don't even want to organize toward a specific result because this counterpart is the end result. And they really think that they could just sabotage every single conversation out here. Yeah. Matt Gaetz. Yeah. This dude is actually taking out ads saying that he's not guilty, man. Crazy. Yeah, man. Yeah, it was pretty bad, man. I think I watched that clip like 45 times, man. The little 2-minute hit. That's not how that works, Blaze. That's not how that works. If you ever worked at a prison, because I worked at one briefly, there are cop wards in prison. Um, that dude's going to be in protective custody the entire time that he's there. He's going to pretty much be in like a level 1 trustee position type of housing whenever he's there. Like that's what happens with people from politics or ex-governors and all that kind of stuff. Dude, they never go to general population like that, man. They never go to general population like that. That dude is still gonna have access to internet and everything else. You know, the food is still gonna be bad because he's still in prison, but he's never going to be locked up with the actual people. Hell, they don't even allow ape rape people to be around in general pop like that anymore. No, they never do that. You really think Rob Blagojevich was in general population? Hell no. Nah, man. Actually, that's not true. He got charged on state charges. Didn't get charged on federal charges. I don't think they have like a federal murder statute, because if they did, then the actual federal government would be prosecuting these guys on federal charges every single time. I mean, there's several ways they can still get to them, especially when it comes to yard time. Yeah, man, there's several ways they can still get to them. When you actually go eat, yeah, man, there's several ways they can still get to them. Several ways. Yep. Full control that no one knows about. And there is no type of system that you can to control the Department of Corrections. 100% right, debug, double. Yeah, but this is where we at, though, man. Like, most of these conservatives just came here to make money off this liberal woman, man. That's what it is. Because if they actually wanted to actually talk about policies that was going to help black people, black men in specific, dude, we would already be there. Everything comes back to masculinity, manhood, abortion rates, or some other thing that has nothing to do with our own personal progress. Because if you want to make personal progress as a person, you would do it yourself as a person, by yourself. No, Bernie dead, man. No, I mean, he died like a couple days ago. Yeah, man, Bernard Riley. Not Bernard Riley. Shit, Bernard Riley is not responsible for no Ponzi scheme. Bernard Madoff is out of there, man. Nah, man. Yeah, but Club Fed is for like federal crimes. Like he wasn't guilty of federal crimes, and you can't just put somebody in a federal prison when they didn't do federal crime. That's not what federal prison is for, man. You can't put a state convicted person in federal prison. Like they don't allow that. They don't allow that. Okay. Mike, once you get up in here, I want to actually play that actual clip from that lady that you dropped earlier. So that way you can see what conservative women actually think about men. Because since they're on so rare supply, yeah, of course, man. No, it's different, B-Dub Boogie. That's the Bureau of Federal Prisons control the actual federal, and the Department of Corrections normally control the state-run stuff. What's going on, Mike?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Could we play the actual words of her without the actual video?
I don't know. You shouldn't get flagged for it. I haven't seen anybody else get flagged for it. So
Yeah. So can we play the words of her and not the actual video?
closed caption.
Yeah.
You should got to enable closed caption on your side.
On the actual settings.
On the video itself, there's a CC button on there.
No, I mean I don't have the link. I'm in StreamYard. I don't have the link to the actual video itself.
All right, let me grab the video.
All right. So that way you can see what conservative women think. And you tell me whether or not what type of women you want to deal with. Because remember, these guys don't qualify for conservative women. They don't. They qualify for what they want to qualify for.
Yeah, the closed caption is on.
What does that mean? I don't.
Meaning that the words are on the screen as you were asking.
No, I'm trying to hear the voice, hear the sound of it.
Okay.
Yeah, just hear the sound of her just talking. That's it.
All right.
Is based on the evidence that we saw,
Can you hear me?
and this was polluted from start to finish. So to me, the most important element of this, which I found to be astonishing, was the fact that they never released the full police footage. They had it, they sat on it, they locked it down. It leaked months and months later after the riots, via the Daily Mail, I think. But when I watched the full tape, I was astonished that they didn't think to just at least add this context so that people understood, yes, this person was high out of his mind. He asked to be put on the ground. He was resisting arrest. Let's not forget what they did, the power they had in setting up this narrative to begin with. First, the media said he was just getting his life together. Remember St. George?
Yeah, they do
You
this
guys
all the
remember
time,
St. George, right? He was just getting his life together. He had moved to Minnesota. Yes, he was, had been in prison in the past, but he was just helping the youth. And everyone was crying. And it was, oh my gosh, this man is, was getting a second chance at life. And, maybe had the wrong ID or whatever it was using counterfeit bills, and somebody called the police, and then he was killed. He was brutally murdered on the basis of him being black. No indication, nothing was said out of Derek Chauvin's mouth that, should insinuate that this was about being black versus white, but that was what the media ran with. And then they successfully hid every piece of evidence that would have transformed public opinion, right? Every piece of evidence that would have said, wait a second, there's more here. And they were upset when I released a video and just went over his track record, because it was clear to me, according to his track record, that it was very unlikely that a person that spends
Okay. His track record has nothing to do with the fact of him being victim of a crime. Now, his track record actually comes into play if he's doing crimes against other people. Now, this $20 bill or whatever, that's not even part of any of this testimony, because that has nothing to do with the end crime at the end of the day, which is him being killed. So when they're talking about things like this, they're merely shifting the burden of proof from his actual background to actually things that he's done in the past. It's a post hoc rationalization. That's all that it is. And these people are doing this stuff on national TV. It's crazy.
Let me finish playing this.
Yeah. Prison stints, 9 stints in prison, was really just getting his life together after having served the last one. So, to me, I think the saddest part of this is that what we need to acknowledge is that right now, mob rules. The media creates the mob, and the mob rules, and that's what we just saw play out.
Candace joining us.
So let's get this straight.
Yeah.
Trump not showing his taxes. Nobody knows really what's going on. This guy gets to run the country. No one questions the legitimacy of it.
Nope. Not at all.
You got him on a recorded call talking to Brian Kemp and his staff, his administrative staff in Georgia. Go find those votes. They got to be somewhere. That's election interference. No smoke for him, though.
Nobody covered it. None of these conservatives covered it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, she's not addressing the evidence, Curls, because she's addressing the character of the person. But you can't address the character of the victim of a crime. You can address the character of the guy. You see, nobody is talking about what drugs that was in Derek Chauvin system. Nobody is talking about or even seen the actual complaints about the use of force mishandling by the people who filed against it because the union hid it, Mike V said earlier. So all of the things that you would be considering toward a person who committed a crime, she's trying to put on the victim of the crime, which is illegal. You can't do that in a courtroom.
Victim's not on trial.
Yeah, the victim's not on trial. He's on trial. And that guy didn't look like he gave a damn about anything that was happening in that courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what he was writing down in everybody else's testimony, but if you wasn't going to be taking a stand yourself, like, what's going on, man?
I didn't get a chance to see what happened at Little Big Nate, but I'm not subscribed. So I don't. Yeah, but the Manosphere has taken a lot of content creators have taken L's just the last few hours. A lot of videos. A lot of videos disappearing. People's, names are changing, to different sort of characters and stuff like that. Avatars are changing. What's going on in this space?
No, I mean, but see, these are the guys, the conservative guys who want these liberal values to go on within the Manosphere. Oh, I don't want to hear this right, man. I just want to come, man. I just want to get on, man. I just want to hustle, man. This is my last chance, man. Like, come on, man. Don't hold me to anything. It's gone so fast. And this is what people don't understand, that you can't be living in a blue state claiming, or a blue area in a blue state, claiming that you're a goddamn conservative.
Well,
no, you can't do that.
Let's look at it this way, right? A lot of people got a lot of smoke for Patrice Cullors and BLM. Where's the money going and this and that? How come they don't have any questions about where the money is going? No super chats and the cash apps to old boy over there who won't debate anybody, man.
Yeah.
I don't see him building any schools. I don't see him donating to the United Negro College Fund. I don't see any of these. What's his track record in this space for supporting black male interests? But you want to talk about a couple of women, with $1 billion, nonprofit organization who
that
made
people donated to.
Yeah, and then so we need to figure out what's going on that side, but on this side in this space, people take super chats, people take cash apps and Venmos and yups and whatever else, man, Teletubbies and whatever else. And nobody ever says, hey, where's that money going that you raised last week? Couple of $100. Oh, I bought a few microphones. All right, man.
To add to your other bouquet of microphones. All right, man. And then, when you be asked questions online, then all of a sudden your microphones don't work at all. Oh, my God.
No, but the thing is, they're flailing. Election in November, you were wrong. This trial, you were wrong. Biden's first 100 days, you were wrong. Biden lasted longer than the black male conservative did in the first 100 days.
Yeah. How'd that happen?
How did a 78-year-old man outperform a bunch of young bucks, man, half his age, more than half his age?
I guarantee you, none of these dudes that went even to a local meeting, haven't went to a luncheon, haven't organized anything.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that these people are online conservatives for liberal women only, because the only arch enemy to the actual liberal woman is the black conservative man who still actually wants to be with the liberal woman.
But that's why you have the game hucksters in the space. That's the purpose of those guys, to help them, to be the broker for connecting conservative men to liberal women. There it is.
But you have to realize that people who are not serious attach themselves to a space where actual progress can actually happen. But they have They're trying to deal with their own personal issues in our face, so that way there won't be any type of progress. They don't want there to be any progress. The only progress that's going to be is that you're going to be with this person at the end of the day. It's the only progress that they wanted, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Let me answer a Renaissance question. He asks, what about the money they have donated to Trump and his organization? Hey, I don't see Trump giving Derek Chauvin a call. He didn't even cover. Matt Gaetz scheduled a meeting with Trump, and Trump didn't answer the phone, man. Sent him straight to voicemail, voice to text. Matt Gaetz, I don't even know that guy. I don't even know what you're talking about.
What are you talking about? The Gates at Mar-a-Lago? Something wrong with them? Why are you telling me?
This dude turned his phone over for a federal investigation. Man, he's finished. Like,
Yes. Yeah, he out of here, man.
these guys not understand. If they're not looking out for their own people, what makes you think they're going to look out for you? Oh, man, it's not about, identity politics. Or really? What about the Anglo-Saxon party? Sounds pretty much like an identity politics game to me.
Oh, man. Dude, hey, man, Anglo-Saxon sounds pretty inclusive of black conservatives, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, see, like, there's like two different conversations going on here. There's like a mean tested for helmet dudes conversation that is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like their idea of conservatism has nothing to do with conservatism in the real world. Just like how you can compare conservatism in the United States versus conservatism in actually Britain. It's like they have their idea of conservative. They don't study the history of it so they can understand that everything that you hate within this society is connected to conservative. And they don't want to live in highly conservative areas of conservative actual states.
Mm-hmm.
But they still want access to liberal women.
And they want to know where's Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yes.
They're always concerned about what the left is doing, never about what the right has done or what it is currently doing. And I always find that to be interesting. You're not allowed to question the legitimacy of the right. In order for you to be a black male conservative, you have to toe the line. You have to toe the line. And I think that these guys, they're so disconnected from the mainstream of conservatism that they're trying to hold up their end of the bargain, but the other side isn't holding up their end of the bargain. They don't even care about you. You're not being invited to Turning Point USA or CPAC or APAC or any of these sort of events. You're not being invited. I mean, Marsh Teray, okay, he got invited. What about Wayne Dupree? He got invited from YouTube, Black YouTube. Officer Tatum, he's been invited to the White House. Where are you other grifters going to get any sort of notoriety on the right? What's going on, Black Girls?
Yeah, what's up, Mike? What's up, MOT? I think we're forgetting one important part because they love to center it around the liberal side and the women in particular. So, with these whole laws and policies that benefit these liberal women, don't they also benefit the conservative women that they say are so great, Mike?
Say that one.
Don't these policies that they claim benefit liberal women so much, don't they also benefit these conservative women as well?
Conservative women are not going to give up policies that benefit them, right? So
Yeah.
You're not allowed to question that on the right. You think Ann Coulter is going to let you have a conversation about getting rid of policies that actually help benefit her? You'll be escorted out of the room before she is.
And also, where are these conservative women fighting to, get rid of these policies to help these men get their, power back?
I don't see them. I watched Turning Point this weekend with the Latino community on the Southwest conference. And they're trying to rewrite history. They said, this country was not founded on slavery. It was founded on freedom. Freedom from who, though? You had a ex-gangbanger, Latino gangbanger. I'm not sure if he was MS-13 or whoever he was, in a wheelchair who shot people, and the conservative SEALs were, clapping like SEALs in the audience. And I'm saying to myself, he was the biggest liberal, running around the streets, not obeying the laws, shooting up places, shooting people, and now he's on stage talking about Christianity and in the culture war on the left, and we need to fight the culture war. Unreal, man.
Yeah, ridiculous.
But yeah, those are the questions they can never answer because they're more direct and it's not too technical for them to not have the capacity to answer.
But there's so many people who need to find an excuse not to move forward. They just find new people to be stagnant with. That's the thing.
I can't hear you, MOT, for some reason.
I think you might have to go out and come back in, Black Girls.
All right, I'll try that.
Yeah, I know Chrome came out with a new update yesterday. So, Black conservatives can't really address the elephant in the room like somebody said in the chat, because that's who butters their bread. For the most part, without the conservatives on the right, what talking points would you have?
None.
Because they facilitate your script. So you're reading from the script. Culture war, culture war, culture war. That's it. BLM, rainbow flags, women, poverty, welfare.
Yep.
Yeah, rainbow flags. So
Second Amendment.
Yep.
They're taking your guns away. They're taking the guns away. Like, dude, listen, man. Dude, if they would have took your guns away, they would have did it already. And the last time they actually did take people's guns away was Hurricane Katrina. No one concentrates on that, right? Yeah, Republican administration said, take these people's guns and get them out of there.
No, only Black people's guns.
Unbelievable. No, they're legitimate conservative, but these guys are not conservative, because conservative men who have their shit together are not worried about the outcomes or the actual lifestyle of liberal women at all. They just would have moved on to other people.
They would actively avoid the liberal women.
Shit, I would. Yeah, I do.
No, they work at Lockheed. They love Boeing. They put those F-35s together, and that's the script that they run off of. But in this space, somehow, man, it got deleted, man.
Yeah.
What's going on, Lawrence?
Shalom, Lawrence.
Shalom, gentlemen. Shalom. And shalom to everyone in the chat. So much for my break off, huh?
That was pretty brief.
Well, I'm going back in. I just wanted to come in on this just real quick. It's something that Mike read from the chat a minute or so ago about the elephant in the room. The reason why these so-called Black conservatives have a problem with the elephant in the room is because they realize, and they won't say it out loud, but they are that elephant in the room. That's the problem. They know everything that's going on. They understand that they're part of the problems that exist, but they're never going to address the elephant because they are the elephant. That's all. That's all. And as long as they continue to do what they do, and it brings in cash flow, clout, attention, celebrity, whatever have you may, they're going to keep doing it because that's all they care about. That's all they ever cared about, to be quite honest with you.
So you mean to tell me that these people who are conservative want to be limousine liberals, Lawrence Guy? Is that what you're telling me?
Say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. One more time.
So you mean to tell me that these fake conservatives want to be limousine liberals?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. They always were liberal. They just try to wear the coat. It's like a sheep in wolf's clothing. They've always been liberal. They can deny it all they want to, but again, you can see it in their actions and the way they do things. From the type of from the the lifestyle they claim they are part of as a conservative, to the type of women they pick, to the lifestyle they want, to everything they want to do. I mean, they're undercover liberals, right?
They call them the conservative left.
Right. Yeah. I mean, not to be funny, but when I was a young man, what did we call them? Reagan Democrats or
Yeah.
something like this, something like that. Yeah, Reagan Democrats, I think it was. That's all it is. It's just liberals with a coat that says conservative on it. That's it.
It's a members only jacket.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Members only jacket. Yeah. That's all they're doing. And like I said, they're doing it for the same reason, like I said, Reagan Democrats did it, because they want power, they want money, they want celebrity, and they're gonna pick whatever side is gonna give them that. Because I guarantee you, if the tables were turned, they'd immediately jump ship and go right back over to where they came from.
Well, to your point, Lawrence, what they found in Arizona after the election in November,
Mm-hmm.
the Republican Party was losing 1,000 members, I think every
Every week.
every 48 hours or something like that, 72 hours or something like that. They were losing 1,000. They lost like 10,000 in a month, which is significant in certain voted precincts. And
Right.
so, dissatisfied, they went to the left. And so, what I'm saying here is a lot of these guys, don't really follow the politic. They only follow the culture. And so wherever everybody is holding up guns and come and take it, stuff like that, that's all they seem to really, that's the extent of their conservatism is First Amendment, Second Amendment. That's it.
No, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. The issue, well, I wouldn't say issue, but another part of what you're saying is, how does that group that leaves is breaking down, because it's going to break down in a number of ways. It's going to be those who are only there, like you said, for the First, Second Amendment stuff, and they don't really care about anything else. It's going to be the ones, like I said, that were always liberal from Jump Street, but they're just playing the game. Then you're going to have those who are leaving because they're dissatisfied with the current state of what conservatism and Republican parties are. And then you got those who are jumping ship to go be straight libertarians. And then the last group is those who are leaving to go be independent because they're sick of all of it. So it just depends on how it breaks down. But bottom line, you are correct. That many leaving is fascinating, mind-boggling, to be honest with you.
And Lawrence, another thing about them leaving, I think I read an article about after the Capitol building breach, a lot of people went from Republican to independent and all that stuff.
Well, that's what's happening here in Florida. The vast majority of people are literally jumping ship to either the bulk of the jump is for independent, and the remaining is going to libertarian.
Yeah, because I'm from Florida too, so I knew about that.
Yeah, and it's been getting significantly larger group-wise every year for the last, I would say, the second term of Obama, if I remember correctly.
Obama won Florida twice, though, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
but there was a whole lot of mess concerning it, especially that second term, because I was actually working in the election division, because it was overseen by a retired sheriff. He was running that election division, and I was working there with him. And we had like a couple of recounts, man. We had a couple of recounts. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people think that, myself, MOT, we hate black conservatives. We hate conservatism. We hate the whole entire thing. No, we're just saying, if you're going to be on that side, you're going to have to organize with those people over there to get some stuff done. Because coalition politics really matters in this sense for black men. You're not going to fight the culture war as a black man. It's just not. It's not in your favor.
No, it's not. You're outnumbered.
Yeah, it's
so you have the numbers even on your side, let alone teaming with another group.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's no different. It's no different than what goes on with quote unquote the manosphere. Mm-hmm. We can come up with as many ideas and theories on how to fix stuff and how to change stuff, but no matter what we put forward, we can't win, because women outnumber us, and then you add, in addition to that, politicians who are making money off of it, then you add male feminists onto it and simps, we're always going to be outnumbered. I mean, we can talk all we want to about ideas to fix it, and that's great, but we'll never be able to get it through because we're outvoted at least 3-4 to 1. So, I mean, and that's just reality.
That's why you have to focus on policies that's going to benefit everyone else, but that's going to be more beneficial for you. This is why we talk about the legalization of marijuana, right?
No, I agree with you, but we saw what happened with that. And not to bring him up because it wasn't exactly the best example, but we saw that with Ice Cube. When the women started going at him, talking about women aren't included, he said all black people. That's men and women, and they wanted to be specifically named. I mean, it's just it's just a hot mess, man. I mean,
Well, not so much about Grifter Cube. I mean, Ice Cube.
mhm,
I'm saying things that's going to impact white people too, like water. Yeah,
mhm.
Flint, Michigan, Mississippi, right now, Texas. When the storm hit, those are areas that you can find common ground with people on the right and the left.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
and we're not really organized like that in this space. You have a lot of guys who focus on the rainbow flag. They seem to really, really love it. They love liberal women, the tattoo on the lower back, and stuff like they love these sort of women. Why can't how do we get these women to come to the table? Why the hell do you want these women at the table anyways? What's wrong with you, man?
Well, because that's because, and then again, this is just my opinion, but from what I've seen and what I've listened to all over this space, the the quote unquote men have taken the emotional position of the women they're chasing after, and that position is they want to be as decadent and as belligerent as humanly possible, but without suffering the consequences or the responsibility of it. So in my opinion, that's what they're doing. They're actually becoming the very women they're chasing after. You can hear it with the way they talk, the way they use shaming tactics, what they chase after, what matters to them. They are literally becoming the women they're chasing. That's all it is.
They would be much better served if they took the libertarian position.
Oh, agreed. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No argument with you there, brother.
Yeah,
None.
but this involves taking the side and actually going over there and learning about the issues. I mean,
Ex-
we
ex-
only
ex-
take the side that kind of allows them to just throw their vote away and not be a part of anything. And they don't have to learn about the actual issues of the day.
which brings me right back to them becoming the very women they chase. Women never pick sides. They don't. You think they do, but they don't. What they do is they gravitate to whoever's winning, stay there long enough until that person's losing, and then jump ship or monkey branch somewhere else. They never really pick a side. They just go with whatever's looking best at the moment. And that's why I said those men are literally becoming the women they're chasing. That's all it is. I mean, I wish I could say something different. I wish I could say there was more nuance to it or maybe something more elaborate. But sometimes the best answers are the simplest ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's like how you can concentrate continuously on the abortion rate and the actual outcome of people who are no longer sexually viable unless that is your actual end goal. Despite all of that.
And
Yeah,
MOT,
Yeah.
with the abortion point is if you're not dealing with them, they can't abort your baby.
Yeah.
But they want to keep dealing with them.
Look, all I know is I'm 54 years old. I've been a Republican and a conservative since I was 14. That was a conscious choice of my own. No one influenced me on that, right? And I've come to understand, and maybe it's different now. It looks like it anyway. There are caveats that come with taking on that label. You know what I mean? You can't just say you are and not live that particular lifestyle or that theory or whatever you want to call it. You know, you're out there, you're working grassroots, you're working in election places, you're going door to door, you're canvassing the neighborhood. You're putting your mouth where your money is, or your money where your mouth is, however you say it, and you're out there. And you're also living appropriately, personally, in that same lifestyle. And regardless of whether or not you part of that party, if that party is doing something that is outrageous, you got to call it out what it is. That's one of the most fundamental things that I always loved about being a conservative. Rain or shine, hell or high water, right is right, wrong is wrong. There was never shades of gray for it. There were never shades of gray for it. If a cop was bad, it did not fucking matter. He got to go. There's no getting fired. There's no getting suspended with pay. You got to go. Because you guys got to remember, I grew up in New York during Serpico. You understand what I'm saying? We didn't have that kind of bullshit. You got caught, you got dragged. You know what I'm saying? So that's the world I grew up in, and what conservative meant, at least for me back then in my neighborhood in Brooklyn. You know, so it's weird for me to see these guys who call themselves conservatives, but they do none of that. Then none of them can say anything about mentoring. None of them can say anything about progress in their neighborhoods. They can't say anything about working grassroots. They can't say anything about trying to get laws changed. I mean,
Nothing.
I got so pissed off one time, and I got so pissed off one time, I ran for city council for Brooklyn. I pulled together a whole damn team. I also don't like people who want to sit around and talk about how juries work and how they shouldn't work and yada yada, and never served on one, and I served on 5, foreman of 3. So I don't want to hear what you have to say to me. I don't want to hear a cop tell me it's hard out here. Dude, you out here running back and forth like you straight up hardcore military like I was, with none of the training that requires it. You're just a loose fucking cannon with new toys. You know, we used to say that shit. We used to just put it right there on the fucking table, whether there was a camera, a news team, or whatever. We said what had to be fucking said, and we tried to make it work or fix it. I mean, because we took down the 81st precinct in my neighborhood. Them motherfuckers were just fucked up. Fucked up. We had a couple of good cops in there. An officer, Naya Bongo, one of the first officers I actually built a relationship with. And I think I was 15, 16 at the time. Good man. Good man. He busted his ass off. He would drop down on every bad cop there was. I mean, I admired him for that. You know?
I remember you mentioned that to me, Lawrence. And also, I'm going to give slight pushback about the whole mentoring part. I don't even think they have the mental capacity to teach any younger brothers anything. So,
well, no, not anymore. Not anymore. I'm talking about what it was like when I was growing up.
oh, okay, yeah.
But the way it is now, no, they couldn't if they want. Even if they were, they couldn't because they're compromised.
Yeah, but mentoring right now is called game. Like that. That's what they want.
Exactly. Which proves my point about being compromised. Because what is game? Chasing pussy. They're compromised through pussy. It is what it is.
I mean, if they're gonna be liberals, cheap liberals, man, you know, okay, maybe they don't have a limousine. Maybe they Uber or Lyft liberal, something like that, man. They kind of.
It's like a Geo Metro liberal.
Yeah, but listening to what you. Mm-hmm. No, I'm sorry, Mike. You go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it's hard for us to, you know, like I'm already organized on my side, so I don't really worry about what these guys in the space do. But if the collective of black men or the majority of black men need to move forward, you have a lot of dead weight, you know, within the space that is not allowing the progress to, you know, to happen at a fast enough pace. And so we spend a lot of time having to, you know, try to clean up behind some of these guys because they're basically just pooping everywhere, man. It's like, nah, we can't have that in this space, because if all it takes is one bad channel to bring down everybody in the space, and if these conservative channels are constantly, you know, badgering and spreading misinformation, disinformation, yeah, that has to be cleaned up, you know. And I'm the guy that's gonna, you know, take the bull by the horns and just do it. But I'm saying, not taking the side, not focusing on policy, not really caring about, you know, the advancement of black men. It doesn't make any sense for you to be here.
Well, I mean, okay, I get what you're saying, but there's two things that have to be taken into account. First of all, that's what they're getting paid to do. Whether you grab the bull by the horns or not, that's what they're getting paid to do. And whether it's paid through organizations or idiots who want to donate to them, but that's what they're getting paid to do. The second thing is that, to be honest with you, it's like everything else in life. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You can't have light without dark. You can't have cold without heat. Their purpose exists, whether we like it or not, to fulfill a certain narrative. And even if that narrative is negative to ours, it has to exist so people can see both. Now, how people choose between the two, that's going to have to be a personal issue. You know what I mean? But like anything else in life, these things have to exist. Sucks, but it's true.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
But the actual
Say-
idea is continued existence, and they can have continued existence if there's any type of tangible progress, i.e., focus on productivity. If most men focused on productivity and left all these people alone, most of these 40-something-year-old women wouldn't have sexual progress.
Well, that's
Or
true.
people looking forward to the actual misguided youth that the game news is trying to provide the actual older generation.
No, and you're absolutely right. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm taking their side. I'm not. I'm not even
Right.
playing devil. I'm not even playing devil's advocate. I mean, I don't like any of them. You know that we've talked about it enough. I'm just making a point that it's going to be the only way it's going to stop is through the entire system collapsing in on itself, and that's going to happen because they did it to themselves, not because of your streams or Mike V grabbing it by the horns or me trying to mentor or whoever else you want to name. The fact of the matter is, it's like anything else in history. It's going to collapse under its own authority and weight. Now, don't get me wrong. We're the so-called, well, for lack of a better term, we're the prophets who are out there screaming at the top of our heads, this is wrong, this is not right, you shouldn't do this, it should be this way. But nonetheless, it's still going to collapse under their own stupidity. And like I said, I'm not defending them. I'm just, that's how history works. But at least it has so far. Maybe we'll get something new. but I don't know. I guess I've reached a point of not being concerned about it anymore, or should I say rather, not being concerned about them. And as you and I have talked about many a times, MOT, I'd rather focus on the ones who did come here to get something done.
Oh,
And
yeah, sure.
and just ignore the rest. Because like I said, they're going to be who they are. They have to exist. Because again, without them, you wouldn't be able to understand the opposite direction, which is us. And those people have to see their fuckery and they have to see our productivity. And then they, like you said, they have to make a choice. So in a way, they have to exist. If for no other reason, it assists us with vetting, at the very least, because we get to see who somebody really is. I don't know. Maybe it's a Nagone thing. I'm getting into that elder statesman mindset. I don't know, but I just, the more time I spend away, the more it kind of becomes clearer in my mind that I don't care about them. What I care about is Black Curls. I care about Eisen. I care about MOT. I care about Mike. I care about Nagone. I care about Zero, and the list goes on. And that's all that matters to me. That's all that matters to me. Making sure you guys stay positive and making sure you guys keep me positive. All of us are on our purpose. All of us are being productive. And if along the way it becomes a good day where we can help each other out, that's even better. Not necessary, but it's better. And we'll just take it from there and just watch the rest of them as they burn down.
Let it burn.
Yeah. And I said that since day one I came up in here, because somebody asked me that on the very first stream I was ever on. Let it fucking burn. I'm not even mad at it anymore. They asked for it. Let them have it. Or like Eisen would say, if you like it, I love it. I mean, I don't know what to say, because between myself and everybody on this panel and all the other people I named, and even the ones I'm forgetting at the moment, all of us have been screaming this at one time or the other on multiple streams over multiple months, if not multiple years. If you didn't get it then, you ain't gonna get it now. And if you ain't gonna get it now, it's not my problem. I don't care. Go do you.
All right, so we're going to see how long you're going to last on this panel, Laro. What's going on, man?
Okay, what's up? Everybody? Hey, look, I have a question. How
Go
are the productive brothers arguing every day with the productive brothers about the outcomes of the environment? Because I would say two things.
Hold on.
Can I
The
finish though? Let me
productive,
just
well,
just
no,
let me
no,
finish.
no, because you just said something that was wrong. The
Yeah.
productive brothers are not complaining about the outcome of the environment. The productive brothers are mad as shit at the outcomes of the environment, thanks to the people who created the environment. The productive dudes are not responsible for the outcome. We're actually complaining about what we see in the people responsible for it. I
Right.
just wanted to make sure that I got your question corrected before you go off on a tangent
No,
in a
I'm not going
direction.
off on a tangent. What I'm
Okay,
saying
okay, go
is,
ahead. Okay,
okay, what I'm saying is, by the nature of the argument, right? We
okay.
have productive brothers, right? And at some point, if you're productive, you're conservative at some point, right? All right. So we have you guys going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth about
Wait,
political.
wait. Who are we going back and
man,
forth
come
with?
on, man. You can't keep.
No, you're going to answer my questions because you keep trying to DJ Cooter your way through this shit, and I'm not going to let you do it. So who are we going back and forth with?
I'm talking about the current thing that's going on with you
Sir,
and
who are
little
we going
short.
back and forth with?
I'm talking about you and the short guy, right? I'm not talking about Cuda or none of that, right? I'm talking about the current
Which is the
circumstances
short
right
guy? What short guy?
now.
Just say
Okay,
the name.
Nate.
No, Little Big Nate is a clown. He doesn't debate anybody. He's not conservative. Okay, I know you are a fuck nigga defender, but we are actually
bro, it's
talking
not
about
about that
something
right
else
now,
different.
bro. Hey, MOT, it's not about that right now. Like honestly, it's not about that.
Okay. So there's no back and forth. The actual outcomes of the environment is based on the input of most of the people who made those decisions. Those decisions are not made by us. So what now?
Man, what I'm trying to say is, look, I left this shit alone, right? I thought that you guys would like fix and work this shit out, right? But alone,
Wait. Work what shit out? What is there to work out, sir?
listen, can you guys at least agree not to talk about political ideology? Because the thing is
You.
about
You need look.
wait. Can I? No, I
Man,
can't.
get the fuck off the stream, man. What the fuck is this? It's a political
Yeah,
stream.
yeah.
Can you agree not to talk about politics so that way I don't have to take a side? Man, fuck you. Fuck you. That's status quo speak. Go over there and listen back to Little Big Nate. Like I said, Laro, you are a fuck nigga defender.
I don't know him, but I was about to say you cut me off. I was about to say, dude, you can't come up in somebody else's house and tell them what they can and cannot talk about. Dude, come on, bro. Come on.
And then at first he's saying productive brothers going back and forth with productive brothers. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that threw
Okay,
me off too.
wait. Because you're still there. All right. So what do you consider Little Big Nate? Is he a productive brother, Laro?
He has a fucking functioning family. That's what he says, right?
You don't know the Little Big Nate story. That's not the Little Big Nate story.
Well,
at all.
he says he raised his daughter. He's raised his family without a.
Who is he raising his daughter with?
Hey, look, bro. He said his. Hey, bro. Listen.
No. You said he had a functioning family. Laro, you said he had a functioning family. Who is he raising his daughter with? Is he raising his daughter with the mother of his child?
You got to make the situation fit what's going on in your life, bro. If he married or was ever with, I don't know that. I don't want to drag that shit.
That's right. He tried to make it work with uncultured women that he actually complains about every day. Don't you understand that? He made a fucking mistake. He bet all his coins on the melanin fucking woman and he fucking lost. That's why he's online complaining to everybody else in the world about the melanated woman that he fucking chose without even fucking thinking about the fucking track record of the people in the environment to which he chose from. So he had a hell of a lot more trust in the actual woman than the woman had in him.
But you know what,
and
though?
Because of strategic dick choice, he decided to throw himself.
Hey, you know what, MOT, is cool to call someone a hypocrite, right? But you know what? There's a lot of times in your life also where you could have been a hypocrite also too. I mean, you know what? We don't have to talk about that, but that's just life and life choices. We don't all make the right choice in life. We can all be like, I fucked up. Little dude, don't fuck up the way I did. And that might be what his message might be, right?
No. Mike, what is Little Big Nate's basis on being on YouTube?
It's to give this a trial run to see if he can quit his daytime job to keep doing this as a business.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah.
Okay, it took me a minute. Okay, so that's who you're talking about. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
Larry, did you know that?
No, I didn't know that, bro.
yeah, he said if it's lucrative enough, then he'll quit his daytime job and keep doing this.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I'm sorry, because it took me a second. I couldn't remember who he was until Mike just said that, and I remembered. Okay, yeah. And Laro, if I may be so bold, let me just tell you this: as someone who's been married twice and coming up on his second divorce, I've got 2 daughters from each one of those marriages. Okay, and if there's one thing that has to be done, especially with men who claim to be all about progress, productivity, and being men, here's something I'm going to tell you. That first marriage, without doubt, I couldn't blame my ex-wife to save my life. You know why? Because I picked her, and I have to take accountability for that. I chose substandard, I chose poorly, and I chose uncultured. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you?
I understand that. So what
Okay.
happened the second time?
Second time, grew apart, went into different directions for different things, and it just doesn't work anymore.
So will you ever do it again?
No, I will not.
Yeah, but Laro, you got to understand,
But you're missing the point of what of what I'm trying. You're missing
No, I get
the
it.
point
No,
I'm trying to
trust
make.
me, I get it. I'm not
That
being
at the end of the day, when you have men who talk about having children, when you talk about men about being with women, married with them, etc., and so on, you can't just look at the female aspect of it and what's going on. You have to look at that man as well because he chose her. So whatever's going on, you have to ask yourself what was going through his mind when he chose someone like that. You understand what I'm saying? And that's a hard thing for a man to do because I had to do it. That's why I can sit here and say what I'm saying now. And I'm not trying to attack Little Big Nate or anything like that. This goes for all men who want to talk like that. I'm just trying to make a point on maybe, just a little tweaking of the perspective. That's all.
Yeah. My question to Laro is, which side are you on? Are you on the conservative side of these guys, or are you? Where do you stand politically?
Hey, you know what? Hey, politically, I voted for Donald J. Trump because I knew some things economically would happen. I haven't made a penny in the first quarter or the beginning of the second quarter in the stock market. My shit is, and I knew this would happen going with Joe Biden, and it's happened. Man, look, my portfolio is looking like trash because the guy got voted in the fucking office. So I never wanted Joe Biden to be in office, right? I was always a guy who hated the fact that a woman who worked at McDonald's, right, and probably worked 15 hours a week was able to get $8,000 worth of fucking earned income credit. I hated the fact of that, right? So I'm a red state guy. I'm in Texas, bro. I believe in capitalism. I believe in go out there and get it how you feel, get it how you get it or whatever, right? Capitalize off the poor, whatever you need to do. I mean, it's an ugly place out here. It really is. But I believe in if you are not a sorry ass dude, get your ass up, go hustle, go get this paper. So we align in a lot of ways, right? As far as
Laro.
Okay, go ahead. I'm
Do
listening.
you know how to read?
Say it again.
Read what's on the screen.
Okay, Dow drop. I can't. Okay, Dow drops 3,000 points. Okay, I get it. Dow dropped 3,000 points as coronavirus collapse continues. Worst day since '87. Okay, we in the middle of the shits, bro. Okay, go ahead.
Well, what I was trying to get you to try to identify what your views were that may have been in conflict with ours.
The thing is, my views are not in conflict. It's not. It's really not. But the thing is, at some point in time, you guys have to be able to sit down, and you guys like debates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you debate the guy?
He won't debate. He won't debate, Laro. So the issue isn't so much about us not debating. I mean, we have a track record of debating people. The problem is that you have these guys who are spreading this disinformation in the space about what the left is doing and what black men are doing and these sort of things, or what Biden is doing, swiper, stop the steal, this and that. But they won't debate their talking points because they don't have any cited sources of credibility to really, to really facilitate the debate itself. And so they want to fight culture, and that's not what we're going to fight.
And that one,
So here we go. Hey, listen. I have
like,
Laro. Please speak.
Laro.
Okay, go ahead.
Read what's on the screen.
Am I reading the same screen?
You are.
About the Dow. The Dow dropped 3,000 points as coronavirus collapse continues.
So you mean to tell me that your portfolio is doing worse now than it was when the coronavirus wasn't even handled properly?
Man, hey, look, it took a.
Yes or no question.
No. What I'm saying is, last year this time it took a fucking parabolic fucking spike because everything shot up, right?
No. What is it? Let me ask you this, Laura. What was your portfolio in? I just want to ask.
No. What I'm saying is,
what do you have? What is your are you in stocks? Are you in bonds? Like, are you in indexes? Are you in individual stocks? How's your portfolio allocated?
Okay, listen, it's not that well diversified, right? And look, okay, here we go.
So you don't want to take responsibility.
Wait a minute. Don't try to put me in.
What's going on?
Right? I just want to answer the question. Let me answer the question, right? Listen, as far as
there was not a question I asked you to read. So you're answering a question that I did not ask.
Okay, so what are you asking, bro?
Okay, so what I'm saying is, what's going on, DC? So what I'm asking you is, we know what the stock market did during the actual collapse of the economy. Like March 16th is when everything closed down. I remember because that's when I went back to work last year after taking off January and February. I remember specifically after this thing have not been handled properly by government incompetence. Thanks to the guy in the White House still trying to play the cultural narrative rather than following expert advice on how to do stuff. So what did your portfolio do during this period of time?
You know what? Are you talking about 2020 or are you talking about 2021?
No, it's 2020. It's 2020. We're talking about roughly
2020,
13 months ago.
Because at this time in 2020, last year, if you had capital, you would be a fucking millionaire right now.
All right, well, you're not answering the question. You're not. I mean, and then once you tell us what you're invested in, that's when actual Renaissance Man question come in the actual question.
Okay, invested in. Okay, look, I got in on Neo at fucking $2, bro. I got in on Fuel Cell at fucking $3.29. I got in at BNGO at fucking $1.89. Yeah. So wait a minute. So you want it? I'm trying to tell you.
Now, how are those performing today?
There were projects I was able to get. He said 2020.
Okay.
He said 2020, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Charge Point, Blink, all those things I was able to get into, and you know why? Because a guy like Complex. So I'm not coming here to hate, bro. I can tell you.
But how are they performing now under a Biden administration? Because
hey, you know what? Hey, y'all didn't ask that. You asked.
No. You said that you had.
Oh man.
No. He just said that his portfolio has not been performing well since Biden is in office. And I know that's fundamentally
why I
not
pointed
true.
to a year ago, so that way he could tell me how I done then versus how I did now. So this is where actual Renaissance man question come into play. So if your stock survived this type of shit that was going on with the actual destroying of the economy because this stuff wasn't under control, because between March 16th and when things started to open back up, which actually was May 15th for like most of the states in the union, I want to know how your stocks did during that time period versus the rest of the year versus when Biden got in office, so that way we can know what we're dealing with here.
Okay, let me say this. I haven't made a single dollar in the stock market since Biden took fucking place in office, bro.
So you
How much
realize
money
that,
did you lose? How much money did you lose during this time?
Probably about 11%. 11%.
now you do realize the Dow closed at an all-time high just on April, I think 16th.
Hey, bro, anybody in the market, man, we've been losing our ass for the last goddamn second.
Okay, all right.
Man,
No,
we
that
all-
is not true. That is not true at all.
We're
I'm not
taking up too
losing.
much time. We're taking up too much time on this. At the end of the day, if you lost 11% under Trump, we're a year later and you haven't
No, I
gained
didn't say
anything.
that. I said I lost it.
Sir, listen, man. I'm
didn't say
listening to
that.
everything that you say. I'm listening to everything that you say. If you lost 11% at the end of the year last year, that's Trump's fault because he did not handle the virus properly. If you haven't gained a penny under the actual Biden administration, that means that you expected Biden to provide shit for you, even though that you voted for Donald Trump. So the losses that you have is still attributed to Trump. Good day for your losses. Biden was supposed to correct the stock market for you.
I'm saying I don't even see how that's possible. Like I said, the market closed at an all-time high the other day. So how is someone not making any money under a Biden administration?
Man, you look, hold up. I don't know who you are, but look, bro. Over the first quarter and
Dude, I follow the market every day because of my job.
Look overall, bro. The market has been down, and we can't sit up here and jazz dance around and shit. The market has been down. Nobody's making money really unless you have inside information, bro. Real talk.
Okay,
you're fundamentally wrong.
Yeah, man. So you don't want to take responsibility for the fact that you're losing in the actual marketplace. And it's up to Biden to fix it for you, even though you didn't hold Donald Trump to any type of responsibility for destroying the economy.
He just got to stay the fuck out the way and let commerce be commerce, bro. like real talk. Get the fuck out the way. Let commerce be commerce. Hey, bro. Hey. Okay.
Well, Renaissance man. It's Lawrence, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like myself, you have stocks as well, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me what it is. I'm just saying.
And I follow it kind of closely because of my job.
Right. And MOT, you have stock as well. I'm sure Mike V has stock. And I think Black Curls, you're just crypto right now, correct?
Oh no, I have both stocks in crypto.
Okay,
so you got stocks.
We all have it. Get to the point.
Don't talk to me that way.
I mean, just get to the point. We all
don't talk. No, don't. That's cool.
It's not
cool.
Disrespect. Just get to the point.
It's cool.
I'm not disrespecting. Just get to the point.
It's cool. It's cool. I'm done. It's cool.
No, I think the bigger point for me was I was trying to get Laryl to really articulate where his disagreements might be with us on the panel and what we're saying, because to come on the panel and question the legitimacy of why we're going after the little guy over there, I'm just kind of confused as to what intrigued you to pose that question.
Mike V is not about that, bro, and it's not confrontational, right? My thing is, if we talking about the clear administration or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The administration, as far as the economy goes, it's been going down and down and down and down.
That's why 916,000 jobs.
Wait.
Sir, listen. You're not gonna fucking DJ Cootie your way to these fucking. There was 916,000 jobs created last month. Could you answer that question of how come, if the economy is so bad, how come 916,000 jobs was created last month?
would say Uber drivers don't really
Nigga, did you even stop talking? All right. Okay. That's the question. Could you, if the economy is so bad, how come 916,000 jobs was created last month? If I unmute this fucking shit and you're still fucking talking, we're gonna move on without your ass.
jobs created. In what sector were those jobs created, bro?
All right, so let's get the conversation back on track. All right, so what we was talking about earlier was that the actual situation here is that, listen, if you invested in some wrong shit and you took losses, that's on you.
Right. And
That's how investment works.
And
I lost a lot of them.
But that's the market, though. I mean, that's just how the game is played, man. Like
How
myself,
much money did I lose while this dude was in office thanks to the fucking trade deals? Payless, Sears.
Malls took a hit.
Yeah,
Sears was brutal. Brutal.
Yes, and it's like, you know what, the Lordstown plant closed in Youngstown. The fucking Sharonville fucking plant closed down. Half of it closed down. Plants down in Portsmouth fucking closed down. Plants all along the I-75 corridor closed down. Most of Detroit closed down. We're talking about Sterling Heights, Hamtramck, took a fucking meat axe to my fucking money. Did I come online and complain about it? No. You know what I did? Went on to another style of business. That's what happened.
And I think that he's omitting the part where you have personal choice in what you invest in, because he's talking about how he lost all this stuff. I'm like, wait, I bought stocks in 2020 and my shit doubled in 2021. And then Lawrence, you mentioned I'm into crypto. Crypto has been extremely great for 2021. Its market cap boomed for 2021, and crypto's going up right now.
Yes, it did.
No. If you own tech stocks in 2020, you did really well.
Yeah. That's most of my investments went in energy, tech, and even cannabis.
Yeah, the NASDAQ, I mean, year over year, because I had to build this chart at work, you're looking at, like, I believe if you go from March of last year, this year, you're looking at like a 40% return on the NASDAQ.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, that's just mainly your tech stocks right there are listed on the NASDAQ. That's where I'm like, when he's like, he's not making money, I'm like, it doesn't make sense. The Dow is up 10% year to date. I mean, average return in the market's around about 11%. So you've already got almost a year's average return in the first 4 months.
No, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, the thing is, you can't just use your portfolio as the barometer to the president's performance within his first 100 days. Like that doesn't make any sense.
That's what I was trying to get to when I was asking everybody about whether, because unless you were in stocks, I wasn't going to bother asking you. That's the point I was trying to get to, because none of us have suffered that level of damage that he's talking about.
Yeah, and if anything, the March time period he was talking about, that was a buying opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because most of my stuff at least double, triple, quadrupled since 2020 when I bought them around March.
Yeah, because nobody here got hit like that. 11%. Come on now.
No, but he doesn't want to talk about the carrier deal that Trump put together that eventually stole all the money for Indiana and went to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Big flop of a deal. Doesn't want to talk about the Foxconn deal that he struck in Michigan that basically gentrified the area of Michigan to build this plant that is still not up and operationally working. They basically use all the public dollars to help build this plant to create nothing out of it. It was one big grift, and this guy got paid off of it, and nobody wants to have the conversation about how the market tanked, under this guy.
That's what I'm saying. He refused to even talk about it. This is why he didn't even tell us what the fuck he was invested in, really, because I just would have looked up what the fuck the industry would have did over that time. I would have pulled up the timeline and be like, okay, what did these stocks do over this time?
Not to mention, I mean, any economist will tell you the stock market is not the economy. It's a portion of it, but it's not the entire economy.
Yep, that is correct.
Yeah, but Laro is a truck driver, from my understanding. he if you're gonna have a portfolio as a truck driver, the best thing to do, and it goes for all all investments, you invest in what you consume. Gas and oil, energy, the big market.
Commodities.
Yeah, the commodities are the big market. The big
Yeah,
states.
that's where I play. Yeah, commodities is where I play. That's that's my playground.
Yeah, Home
Actually,
Depot.
like oil and all that shit took a hit because wasn't nobody driving except for truck drivers, and that's not enough to keep an entire market going. Like I was paying like effectively at the pump like $1.10 a mile for diesel from March when I fucking started back driving to like at least fucking June. And the actual price is like double that now, but that was a pretty good time to have everybody on the road at that period of time. And these people were slaying this shit. Because they was paying us extra hazardous duty pay and all this other shit for moving like farm shit. Because that was the only thing that was up and running was the farm shit to feed the actual plants, to actual provide the meat for people in actual supermarkets. That was the only thing that was the thing in the marketplace at the time.
Well,
and there were some failures in that too, because here in Florida, there were situations where they actually slaughtered the animals, man, because they couldn't get it out, and they just tore up the ground for the vegetables and fruit and stuff that they were growing.
Yeah, instead of giving it away.
Yeah, instead of, but I'm like, food banks being what it was, you could have donated all that there, man.
Because let me tell you why that happened. There wasn't enough processing facilities for people. People were so used to taking their shit, and it was like you couldn't even get most of the actual cattle haulers, which are owned by most Latinos, by the way, at this point, to actually haul shit because they wouldn't haul your shit. So they were going out for $10 and $15 a mile to people who actually used to pay them shit money. So those people made a lot of money for people who actually wanted to pay to get their shit to the market. And they knew people was going to be actually killing their actual, livestock rather than have it fail. Because they can write off the killed livestock, but it's really dehumanizing for a person to actually continue to. Most people would have paid the extra money that they asked. But see, they was in a position because they had all the trucks and they had all the equipment and they wasn't running. Like they worked together as a group and they did not run. So to force the farmers to pay them a gang of fucking money. And then they got money from the federal government and the fucking farmers to run the shit. So they got paid like $20, $25 a fucking mile to move the shit to the actual marketplace. So the only people who could move their shit was large ass fucking producers because they could write that shit off. But smaller farms and shit could not do that.
Yeah. And like I said, it's sad that it had to come to that because it didn't need to. It really didn't.
Yeah. And I was going to say, when you were talking about the gas prices, MOT, see, that time last year, that's when I got into like Occidental and Exxon Mobil. And those stocks have gone up a ton since.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, that if you're going to be moving logistics, you want to kind of invest in what you consume. And, like Lawrence was saying, the commodities. And so this March last year was the right time to actually get in at the dip.
Don't think I didn't.
That was the right time. So to come on here and say, "Oh, well, my portfolio is not doing well because of Biden," that doesn't make any sense. It's not even 100 days yet. How can you say that?
Yeah. Because going back to the oil situation, the buying up shares when everything had cut ground to a halt, perfect time. Because as soon as everything started going back into business with the COVID, people start traveling, everybody's ready to get out the house and go someplace. Gas prices went right back up, killing.
Yeah. If you could have got into something like Carnival or one of the hotels that were down getting beat up, man.
Those cruise lines, man.
Yeah.
Hello. That's me.
I'm one of those cruise lines too.
Yeah. So I got to see what I was going to invest in because I was in all the lower 48. I think the only state that I did not go to was Maine, but I went to 47 of the 48 during that whole time from like March until like December. I went through all those states, and I got to see exactly what the economy looked like in all of those states.
See,
That's why I make an investment.
Because
see,
when it first,
nobody.
go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
No,
Mike.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
gonna say nobody wants to bring up how Trump had this trade war with China that those soybean farmers and whatnot here in the United States who had to go out of business because China was not going to play the game with Trump and they were going to fire back and they weren't taking those agricultural goods. And so China shifted their resources to Brazil. Now Brazil is a agricultural superpower because they have a very long deal with the Chinese government to supply soybeans and other sort of agricultural goods that they were formerly getting from the United States that are now getting it from Latin America. Latin America is on the come up under Trump. How is that making America great again?
And keep an eye out on Canada, man. Canada's been undercover, man, building a big ass canal system. They want to be able to take in more ships than China is able to. Don't sleep on Canada. They got plans. So you're gonna be looking at goods coming in that direction too. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't see how you could fail.
Well, sometimes you put me on some Canada companies to invest in after this stream.
Well, see, here's the thing with Canada though. If you're an American coming to buy a Canadian company, you have to keep a certain percentage of Canadians working in that company. If you start a company in Canada and you're not originally from Canada, you have to hire a certain percentage of Canadians to work in your company. If you don't do either one of those, they're not going to let you have it.
Two things about Canada. They're a mining superpower.
Yes.
They are a artificial intelligence superpower. They have more AI scientists than the United States has right now.
I did not know that. Okay, cool.
They're really big. Yeah, really big on AI tech up there. And so I would pay attention to those two main areas, from last year all the way up and probably till 2025. They're going to be really strong going into this because they don't have all of the red tape that the United States has.
I bet also they got a lot of immigrants helping too as well with the AI piece.
For Canada? Canada, I can see that. Yeah, they're immigrant friendly for sure. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, just the other day they actually had a mega conference with Justin Trudeau and visa applications and bringing in more people from Africa and more people from the Caribbean and Latin America up to actually contribute to the economy. And so they worked out a really sweetheart deal that the United States couldn't pull under Trump because Trump was basically Muslim states and banning all these countries and doing all these type of things that kept immigration flowing in that the United States greatly needed at the time. Unfortunately, a lot of these guys in the space were saying, "Oh, are you guys supporting illegal immigration?" Like that's the height of your like that's the height of the conversation. Like you're not focused on.
Yeah, Mike. Like here's the thing that people don't understand. It's like, look, the business cycle is not going to stop. If your education system and your actual work market is not going to create the actual skilled labor, they're just going to go somewhere else.
Always. Okay?
That's how that works. Like, well, holding this actual position of the bottom hostage doesn't work in business. They're just going to find a fucking alternative. So people are trying to act like fighting for low wage jobs is actually pro-American. No, it's not pro-American. It's pro bottom barrel. I'm not pro bottom barrel shit. You need to be out here and be skilled labor. Like how these people made it over us in the first place was the fact that they went into skilled labor and they had people who can actually work with them because they were on the same plan. So if you don't have counterparts who can work with you within the environment because they want to spend an actual take everything that you actually earn, this shit is never going to work. You're going to age out of this system, which is exactly where we are now. This is why people are actually hung up on immigration, but they don't want to fight against the actual corporations who don't want to pay them any money.
Not to mention Trump and his trade policy too, because you even had Rubio who stood up and said, "Hey, you all having this anti-free trade stance doesn't make sense." Like We're only 5% of the world. I don't want to only sell goods to 5% of the world. That doesn't make sense.
No, Florida has a very strong import with Latin America. You want to
Yes,
block
they
all
do.
that?
Yes, we do. We do.
Why-
Yeah, we absolutely do. As
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, it's so lucrative. You can't do anything, even if you were just to go between. You have to get certified and licensed, and it's like $2,000 to $3,000, and that's just to have a conversation. That's how much business we're doing. I mean, we're second or third right after California, because California is the largest import export shipping section in the country, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, fifth largest economy in the world overall. If it was like independent country.
Yeah, well, I was just talking about shipping lanes and product coming in and out. I think California does more than anybody else in this country. I think Florida is
it
second
would
or
make
third or
sense.
something like that. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Florida definitely. It's crazy. I mean, and
And plus-
then trying to get stuff open with Cuba, man. Come on, it's gonna get crazy.
Plus, you have a lot of tech companies coming from Silicon Valley moving to Florida, no income tax. There's a lot of opportunity that's going to come out of Florida between 2020 and 2025. We got to pay attention to the portfolio of these states.
Oh, it's gonna be before that,
Yeah.
because there was notification that due to the tax hikes in New York, a vast majority of the banks in New York have already set up space to come down here.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know how it is. Follow the money.
Yeah, and not to mention the weather's nicer, because I work with a lot of Wall Street people, and that's the thing. They've been working virtually, and a lot of people have gone and worked down in Florida, and they're like, oh, if we can do this virtual, the banks are going to be like, yeah, it's cheaper to operate from, and our employees are happier. So
it gets better than that, because I can't remember which bank it was off the top of my head, but there was a bank who actually called all their people together in a virtual town hall meeting and asked them where they want to go, and everybody said Florida, and they said okay. I mean, it was just that simple. It was
Looks
just
like we're
that
staying
simple.
here, Lawrence.
Say again?
Looks like we're staying here, Lawrence.
Yo, man, like I said, at least as a matter of fact, there was a big name. One of them was Goldman Sachs. Yeah, Goldman Sachs was one of them. That's who's coming here. Yeah.
Don't tell me you're going to talk about $10 billion.
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Talk about what?
Yeah.
$10 billion for BW.
Oh, good Lord,
We're not
no.
doing that.
Yeah,
Good Lord,
yeah.
no.
Even if you don't get banks relocating their headquarters, they'll definitely put more of a presence there, give employees the opportunity to work from there. Because I mean, some things, New York still is the financial capital of the world, so some things are just going to hang there because that's where the stock exchanges are. But they're definitely going to give people more opportunities to work out of a Florida office instead of a New York office.
Oh yeah. I mean, between remote location and, like I said, them relocating themselves, it's going to leave New York in a rough spot. And Wall Street might take a little bit of a hit too, but
these conservatives in the space are not concerned about that. They're get Biden out of the way. Biden gotta get him out of the way.
see,
900,000 jobs. Get him out of the way. What's he doing here?
But see, here's my perspective. Here's my perspective. It just, as an old school conservative, this is my perspective. It doesn't matter who's in office. If you know how to play the game and run the system, you're going to make money regardless if you know what you're doing. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's been my experience. So,
But they just follow trends and they invest their money, and then it's up to the system to protect them at the expense of everybody else.
you want to know what I think of trends? If I followed trends, you know what I would be? I would have the largest pet rock collection in history. I don't care about trends. I care about results, man. I need to see results, how that stock is tracking, how that company's doing, the bottom line, if it's red or if it's black. I don't trend. Nah. I mean, I get trends has its purpose. I get it, but that's not how you. Well, that's not how I do it. But
let me address this comment in the chat from the Village Arsonist. He says Biden isn't thinking about black folks, man. Come on. I would agree with you if somebody said that on the panel that Biden was only thinking about black folks and that, there was some kind of strange relationship between them. What I'm saying is if the economy is doing good for everyone else, it's got to work for black men too. But you also have to figure out a way how to squeeze those opportunities out of the upswing so that black men can actually benefit from it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And
That's
that's and that's where everybody who calls themselves so-called conservatives are missing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because good
That's
luck
that's that's what
getting
that's one of the fundamental things they're missing.
Yeah, because if you look at the infrastructure bill, I mean, a lot of that is going to benefit black men. A lot of your civil engineering contracts that's going to come out to replace all those pipes and all those, fiber optic cables in the ground that need to go up, the copper that needs to go up on those power lines and whatnot, the 5G access, all of these sort of staples that drive the economy. Those minority contracts are out there, and if your only objective is to get this guy out of office, you're going to miss the bigger picture.
Yeah, well, shout out to the 49 other states who give a shit about that. Apparently, Mississippi don't.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Tate Reeves said that it would cost American jobs if we actually brought infrastructure to the actual fucking state.
How? What?
what?
Yeah, he said that.
I mean, he's the same one who also didn't want to expand Medicaid, even though it would have brought hundreds of millions of dollars to the state.
Okay, let's go through the history lesson again.
Or he said to send them to CVS and get them first aid kits.
The whole Infrastructure Act and concept was an Eisenhower time frame thing. That's how he got people back to work. That's how we got Route 66 and all these I-75 and interstate things. That was a big project to put people to work. That is the point of the infrastructure thing when you're having mild recessions or whatever have you may. It gets people excited again, gets them working. And of course, that money goes back into the economy, fueling it with consumerism and et cetera and so on. So how exactly would initiating an infrastructure plan take away jobs? I'm lost.
I mean, but you have to understand, okay, the actual interstate highways that cross across Mississippi, they don't cross in areas where black people are. But if they cross from north to south, they will absolutely go to where black people are at. So they want to stop the progression of the state in areas that's going to help people that are non-white. And the actual infrastructure bill would extend I-69 from actual Tennessee, from Memphis, all the way down to Pascagoula.
Okay.
Yeah. So along interstate highways, they have to have 5G internet connection. It has to be electrified, and it has to be water ran along all of that infrastructure all the way down. They lose control of the state the moment that shit's ran. That shit's going to be worth a lot. A lot of people are going to be moving from Texas to Mississippi. Tech companies are going to bring all their people there because real estate is dirt fucking cheap, which means houses right now are going to be dirt fucking cheap.
So for the first year or two, yeah.
Correct. So if they extend the actual highway, which is going to be I-69 from actually Tennessee all the way down to the bottom of Mississippi, most of the actual economic progression in the state is going to be along that interstate highway. But in order to keep control over the state, even if they have to damage and destroy everybody within the state, they would rather not have infrastructure spending, period.
Yeah, because I was going to say too, MOT, all you have to look at, Mississippi already has the largest percent of black population of any state in America.
I was about to say that too.
So if you have if you have that happen and you just have a slight influx of black people, that'll be the end of them having control of the statewide office.
Yeah, it would. It absolutely would.
You might even have a North Mississippi situation happen.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what they're afraid of. So any capital investment in the city and any influx of out-of-towners coming into Mississippi would easily take over that state. It doesn't even take that many, to be quite honest. It does not take that many.
Okay. Interesting. So to some degree, they're kind of well, it's a stretch, but they're kind of like Texas right now with the massive influx of people from California. It's great that they're there. It's great that there's more money. but the voting pattern is going to change the more they
Mhm.
come.
So,
The more they come in.
same thing with Georgia.
Yeah.
The black population in Atlanta pretty much doubled. In Georgia,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, doubled pretty much from the 90s because people
Yeah.
moving to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's the thing that people don't get. Like there isn't a highway or even because interstate highways has to be electrified and all that shit along the entire path. But state highways doesn't have to be invested in. This is why you have like Highway 82 and all this kind of shit. Like Highway 82 is like, dude, you can take Highway 82 from Mississippi all the way to fucking Dallas. Empties out at Dallas, you need to go south, boom, 100 miles, you're in Dallas. But at the end of the day, if there was an actual interstate highway through Mississippi, that would actually pass through the whole Mississippi Delta and all the other black areas. That's why they never wanted interstate highways that pass through black areas, because the infrastructure from the federal government goes along with the actual interstate highway. But in a state highway situation, you don't have to do that. And this is why you don't have many interstate highways in actual black areas like that.
Well, that's true. That's true. That is
Correct.
yeah. That is true.
This is what they're trying to stop at the state level. But see, people don't know anything. They haven't left there, and they reject outside help. So they think that any outside help is actually bad. So this is what I'm saying. So when people talk about conservatism and all that shit, like, take your ass down there. Go down there, and you'll see what non-capital investment looks like. It ain't good.
Yeah. Going back to my comment in the chat, MOT, earlier. Let these guys move to Mississippi and talk about I'm a conservative and see how far they get.
Oh man, I'd love to see them go back to my birth mother's hometown in Goldsboro, North Carolina. I'd love to see that one. That would be interesting.
With all the talking points they currently have.
Yeah. Everything that they say here, I want to see them go there with that. I'd love to see that. Between Goldsboro, Blackburg, Rocky Mount, and depending on where you at, some parts of yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know. I know. My first wife grew up back and forth between Rocky Mount and Wilson.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've met her family. Yeah, woo. Because I had some of that too. You call yourself a conservative? We had them conversations, boy. They was like, okay, all right, he ain't that bad. So, but yeah, I'd like to see them go down there, because like I said, I am one, and they gave me a hard time, so I can only imagine what they would go through. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I mean, they're only conservatives who are connected to liberal women, and like this is what conversations sound like with conservatives on the panel and actual people who are progressives on the panel who actually care about a specific outcome. You would never see this anywhere else in the manosphere, because most of these guys are hung up on this liberal woman's outcome, which can easily be dodged, which doesn't have to be messed with, and we can team up with them whenever their actual ideas align with ours. And if they don't, we can just talk about the things that we need to talk about and not worry about them at all. Period. That's how that works.
Yeah. I've been saying that for a couple of months now, man. There's no need to have conversations about them or even worry about them. Like I said, they've identified themselves. They told us who they are. They told us where they stand with us, and vice versa. So it's irrelevant now.
Yep, they told us they're a separate group from us as well. So there's no point.
Yeah. They said they're a separate group from us. They've identified whose side they're on. Even those who don't make a choice have told us what side they're on. because if you're a productive person, that when somebody asks you, that's not a hard thing to say yes to. You understand what I'm saying? Well, are you productive? Are you doing this? Yeah.
Because like productive, upstanding people who have a future is the enemy of apparently everybody within this system. So when I say focus on skills and abilities and not giving it away to people who don't respect you, that starves out the actual system itself. And if you went to other places and not actually gave it back to the source of your actual pain in the first place, you're actually going to be okay. Period.
Well, that's why when that thing with Lauro happened earlier, when I told him not to talk to me that way, and he wanted to consider, that's why I shut it down immediately. It's like, it's cool, I'm okay. And then I got quiet, because my assumption is that I'm black pill. I don't talk to, I don't interact, and I don't associate with women. That right there was a woman. That's why I shut up. In the story. I don't talk to bitches. I don't.
No, I had a similar thing where I had to be like, you know what, dude, you're right. And then after I said that he was right, he didn't understand why he was right. But I just told him that I didn't want to talk to you about anything else because you don't understand the issues.
And
I
that's
love how guys will.
I'm sorry, Black Colonels. Go ahead. I'm
I was
sorry.
like, I love how when you'll sometimes tell them they're right and they'll still argue why they're right. I was like, we said you're
Yeah.
right. You can shut up now.
You gotta understand, they'll argue with their shadow. You know, why you following me, nigga? No, that's what
That's funny. I haven't heard that since my grandmother. That's funny. My grandmother used to say that shit. He's so stupid he'll fight with his own shadow. Yeah. Oh man.
You know, these dudes will fight with an unpulled grenade, man. You know,
Yeah, man.
blowing the spot, man. Like, what happened, man?
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said, it's just one of those things, man, that like Black Girls were saying, it's not gonna make a difference. Whether you agree or even whether you disagree or whether you do agree with them, it's always gonna be an argument. They have been I don't have a better phrase. They've been fighting so long, they don't know how to do anything else but.
Correct. They have a set plane on the horizon that they're going to keep launching their missiles at. The only thing we got to do is just leave them on that island, and they're going to run out of ammunition. And then they're going to swim over to the actual place where they've been shooting all the missiles at to find out that the target is no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the deal. Like, as long as we have progress, like progress is the enemy here. Taking a side is the enemy here. Yep. What they want more than anything else is to keep this thing going so long to where they benefit off of it to their actual predetermined end goal where other people are.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
And then that's why
they're not here for group progress. They're not even here for individual progress. They're here to stop the individual and the group from moving forward unless you take these type of people with you who's going to sabotage all progress no matter whether it's individual or the group.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Exactly. And like I've said before, it's also a fear factor because they know that when push comes to shove, the end result is always going to be the same way it has been throughout history. Productivity will always win. Always.
Correct.
Always. And they're afraid because they know they're going to get left behind. They know they are.
Which is fine, and they're going to be treated horrifically, so I'm not going to let them off the hook without thinking that that's true because it is true. Like it's a true fear, and it's nothing that they have to worry about because it's going to happen anyway, whether they like it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, for the umpteenth time, history shows it. Rome, Egypt, Babylon, the list goes on. So,
Yeah.
And you can't move forward without progress. So
yeah.
It's not just moving forward. You can't live without it. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's life itself.
Well, if you ask the people in Mississippi, it might be a different answer. But
yeah.
Well, yeah, I know. But I'm speaking among us. That it's literally life itself. Being stagnant, especially for a man, is never a good thing. It never has been, and I don't care what color you are. It's just it's not in the nature of men. We explore, we challenge, we adapt, we overcome. We do a variety of things. Being stagnant and not moving forward is antithetical to us. It's just not part of our nature. So to have a group of people who want to make that a foundation of existence is maddening to me. I can't grasp the concept. I just can't.
Well, in order to be a conservative, it means that you have to be stuck in a time warp of Jim Crow. And that's where these guys want to go. Back to a time when black men did not have any real rights, that somehow they were the leaders of their families and this and that. And so many black people moved from Mississippi and from the South up to New York and Massachusetts to get away from the very conservative ideals that were down there in the first place.
Well, that's that nonsense when I talked that one time with Private Foster. I can't remember which stream it was, but he's talking about all this stuff about black men, patriarchy, yada yada. I had to stop him. I said, no. We're not gonna do that, brother. And he's like, what? I said, never in the existence of this country since we've been here has there ever been a black male patriarchy. Dude, it doesn't exist. It never existed.
Dude, and Lawrence, this double talk with this whole black male patriarchy, how are they gonna call black men conquered and then complain about black male patriarchy? It doesn't make sense. You can't have it both ways.
I know. It's just the same thing with, if everybody's a king, then who's working? You just, I mean,
You had individual levels of leadership within families, but it was by no means the actual overall conditions of the group itself.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Not even in the slightest. But like I said, from the moment we landed
you
here,
act like an individual, they immediately try to excise you from a group that didn't even exist.
yep, every time. That is true. And that goes all the way back. Oh yeah, absolutely. And we talked about that before. You sitting in front of a family, they're telling you this, that, and et cetera, and so on. They're not doing it, but you tell them you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to do this, and it's like, you can't be no doctor. So like, why would you say that to me? Why would you say that to me? Well, because you can't. It ain't a natural thing. What you need to do is, you need to get a job in a warehouse. You need to find a good woman, settle down, and have some kids. No.
A good woman from this pool. Not a good woman, period, but a good woman from this pool.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it'll always be one of the ones more than likely they chose, who was ratchet.
No, I mean, but they wanted to choose for you so that way they can have control over your actual ascent and descent.
Absolutely.
Not actually respected in general.
Yep. I had that conversation with my uncles one time. Said the only reason you got the women you got is because the women in this family said it was okay. Because they control the women and the women control you. They have power. In the story. And they just look at me like I'm retarded. But it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. The only woman that they never accepted is my current wife. They don't like her. And with good reason, because she doesn't put up with that bullshit. And I'm not trying to talk her up. I'm just saying the facts are the facts. You know what I mean? I mean, she just didn't take that bullshit from her. So, but that's how they do it. They isolate that woman, they get her on their page, and through her they continue to control the son, the nephew, whoever it is.
Yeah, I mean, because destroying the family system is the actual end goal. It's not some goal of anything else, but that's just where it's at. So, I gotta get out here anyway. So, you got that Lawrence, for you got about here?
No. As always, thank you for having me. It was a great talk. Glad to speak to everybody coming up, and I'm gonna crawl back in my hole.
All right, cool, man. All right, Black Rose, got anything before we get back here?
Yeah, you actually brought up a great point, Lawrence, about the family thing, indoctrinating. I remember seeing this video of a black dude with an African chick, and then the women were bunch of them asking her, where did she ever meet the family? Did she meet the women in the family? I'm like, why does it matter so much? But yeah, that's actually a good point there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Well, you know what? I changed the name of the live stream because apparently this guy never wants to come up and debate anybody, but he wants to throw shots at everybody. So I'm just telling you. You put my name in the shit, you play any of my shit, I'm going to flag you off YouTube. That's what's going to happen if you don't bring your bitch ass to a conversation. That's what's going to happen to you. I don't play with dudes like that.
Yeah. And Mike said thanks for having him in the back chat, and I'm pretty sure Renaissance would say the same thing.
Okay, yeah. Well, shit, they left. Shit, I wasn't even on the screen. So I want to thank y'all for coming through. And this is why you need to understand that fake conservatives need to reconcile this actual Chauvin decision. Because a lot of these people came out here out front with the Candace Owens opinion. No reason. They don't believe in equal protection under the law. They're not going to fight for anything. They're not going to do anything to help anybody. And this is why this is such an important issue of why these people cannot organize. Like me, my city's doing fine. We don't need these type of dudes. We were never waiting on these dudes to actually get their shit together. We just move without them. This is why I fight for job training. I don't fight for all this other shit. Fight for job training is a better universal tool to see who is for productivity and who isn't. And productivity is the actual enemy of stagnant people. I want to thank you guys for coming through. I'm the man tomorrow. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And you guys have a really nice night. Peace.
Peace.